She's crumbling. Look at her gripping the mic. She's holding that mic for her entire life, man. Oh, did you guys see this video? Apparently, Candace Owens was doing a talk, maybe at a college or something, for Turning Points. And she got asked a question. She got asked a hard question by somebody in the audience. Let's take a look about this. Somebody challenging Candace Owens on her crazy anti-trans talking points. Let's see what's going on here.
I'm wondering, there are dozens of words for two-spirited people, people that would now be considered LGBTQ or trans people in the native languages. So I'd like to know how, as these people have existed for thousands of years before you were alive or anyone else in this room was alive,
so true,
and before anyone even colonized America, if trans people were around then, I'm just wondering why you think it is that trans people are only here now because the media is telling people these things.
Well, do you think it's weird that I graduated with 0 trans people? Do you think, what do you think has contributed to the explosion of transgender people from the time that I was in high school? I'll ask you a question back.
Well, I personally saw no trans people, so is this the conservative intellectual powerhouse here? It's crazy. It's crazy how bad their arguments are in real life. And people actually just like suck it up. They're like, this shit's crazy. This goes so hard. What? Well, I'll have you know that I personally didn't clock trans people in my college. So you ever think about how there's like way too many now? But for them, like, 1 is too many. So why even bring this? Isn't even a real point. Why are you bringing this up? The embodiment of Plato's cave.
If this was just a natural thing, and I don't know what you're talking about with two-spirit people, is this like a Native American tribe? Like,
is this a Native American tribe? That's crazy. At least Matt Walsh knew about this talking point. She's genuinely confused. She's like never heard this shit in her entire life. She's actually genuinely baffled by this question. That's remarkable to me. There are a bunch of trans people. Trans people have existed for thousands of years. And then she goes, well, I didn't see any in my college class. Honestly, that really is the pinnacle of conservative ideology, isn't it?
high, smoking, and talking about your spirit. I'm asking you seriously, because when I think of Native American tribes talking about their spirits, I know that they used to smoke a lot, they used to do drugs, they also were cannibals who used to eat people, so I don't know if we should be taking our cues from cannibals.
That shit's crazy. The anti-Native American like shit here is crazy. She had no reason to throw that in. Period. But well, did you know that like some Native Americans ate people? Bro, Europeans were eating people ever since they found Europeans were eating people before Egypt, and Europeans were eating people when the big Egypt went extinct with mummies. Mummies went extinct in Egypt because Europeans were grinding their bones into dust and then eating them. Like, are you crazy? What are you talking about, lady? Have you completely lost your mind? This is insane to me to be like, oh yeah, well, some Native Americans ate people. Mummy stew, huh? You didn't know that? Yeah, back like in Europe, when like colonization was really in full swing and Europeans made it to Egypt, they found mummies and took them from their tombs and then ground them to dust and used it as tea and tinctures to help cure ailments because they thought that the magical properties of the Egyptian mummies would have something good for them. So like, sure, I guess they weren't like barefoot naked in a bush like shoveling meat into their face, but just because you're wearing a nice suit made with slave cotton in your mega mansion, legs crossed, sipping on mummy tea, doesn't mean that's more serial killery. If I'm going to be honest with you, this does not mean it's better. The Dutch ate their prime minister once. Yeah, they just be doing that shit. Europeans be eating people. Europeans are crazy, dude. I don't know. It's just weird to me because every single thing that you can claim that indigenous and Native American people have done bad, Europeans have done that, but like honestly probably worse. It's just there's no reason for you to sit here and claim that like you can't take this. Okay, well, Well, there's like so many things that you can bring up about like your what Europeans do. I don't know, like people will be like, oh well, European, well, oh well, like Native Americans were always at war, so another person coming in and doing more war that were just the Europeans, but they were just really good at it and they stopped all of it. Doesn't mean that they're the bad one. Like, bro, ever heard of fucking World War II or one or any war? Bro, Europeans look at each other and they're from like a new plot of dirt and they make their entire culture around killing the other one. Like, it just blows my mind, the idea that you think that Europeans were somehow so much. Bro, European mothers would like cry and say they didn't have a son because their son didn't want to go to war for the third time this week over a plot of land that has a single bush that pepper grows on. It's like, what are you talking about? Europe was painted in blood for thousands of years. Bro, like Europeans, they built their entire cultures around going to war with other Europeans. It's literally their thing. The only reason why it even somewhat stopped is because after World War II, everybody didn't think that war was fun anymore because that war was like really bad. War just stopped being fun because the weapons got too big. Can you imagine 100 straight years of war? Yeah, like 100 years of war. But whatever, I guess. At least they're not them dirty browns, right?
But I think can you explain to me what Two-Spirit is in the history?
There are people that would now be considered trans people that did not feel that they fit
what part, though? Gender. Native Americans? I'm asking you.
Yes, I'm telling you that not only in one Native American tribe, but in multiple tribes, there were dozens of terms that referred to people that would now be considered trans, and that was
India as well.
Hundreds of years ago. So I'm just wondering why you think that people are only trans now because the media is telling them to be.
Well, I told you, because of the proliferation. So you can't just go from having 0% to suddenly 25%.
She's explained there literally was not the 0%. You can't go from 0% to like 20%. Okay, because there was never 0%. There was never 0%. Like, what are you talking about? Why you just yap it? 25%? Listen, okay, I didn't want to have to. You know what? This is a great opportunity to bring this up. I guess this is like a bit of a segment now. /marker. Candace. Okay, listen. I'm going to tell you this now. One of the big reasons why a lot of people and conservatives are like insane about these issues is because they genuinely have no clue how many people are in the country. They have no possible idea of how many like types of minorities and what their population size is in the country at all. It is wildly different. Like, she's like 25%. She's like, oh yeah, 25% trans. I think she would probably believe that Gen Z is like 30% trans, okay? She's like 30% of Gen Z, of like people born as males in Gen Z are like taking titty skittles and shooting up estrogen in like the bathroom behind, like in the bathroom and behind their school and smoking cigarettes, you know, and playing Beyblade. Like, that's what she genuinely believes is going on. And there was this poll done not too long ago. Let me see. Yeah, Americans overestimate size of minority groups and underestimate size of majority groups. Okay, so take a look at this. I'm not joking to you, okay? This blows my mind. YouGov, all right? When it comes to estimating the size of demographic groups, Americans rarely get it right. In 2 recent YouGov polls, we asked respondents to guess the percentage ranging from 0 to 100 of American adults who are members of 43 different groups, including racial and religious groups, as well as other less frequently studied groups, such as pet owners and those who are left-handed. And people's thoughts on the matter are mind-blowing. Okay, this will truly show you why things are so weird in the country. Okay, and this is explain exactly what Candace Owens is talking about when she said like 20%. This is what she means. All right, have a household income over $1 million. True proportion are close to 0. People estimate that 20% of Americans have a household income over $1 million. The second question: are transgender? True proportion 1%. The average person said 21% of Americans have trans their gender. This just blows my mind. 21%. The estimation. Just so you know, American adults only make up, I think, claim that 5% are trans and non-binary. All right. So that's 5% of specifically adults. It's just, it's crazy. These people genuinely think that they're like at war with like 1/5 of the country. 1/5 of Americans have trans their gender. They think that there's more transgender people in the United States than there are people with an income over $1 million. Just by 1 percentage point. Slightly. And the thing is, they're right, but like 20 and 21 is not the right number. It's 0 and 1. Ooh, they think 30% of the population is Jewish, bro. What the hell? What are you talking about? Man, what the hell is going on? These people are crazy. Are Muslim. 27, they think 27%. They think 27% of the country is Muslim. 27% of the country is Native American, and 30% is Jewish, and 30%. Bro, look at this. 30% live in New York City. How am I supposed to? Bro, look at my country, man. We ain't never gonna be free. Look at my country, man. What the hell? 30% live in New York City. Okay. All right. So what, like, if this was true, then in the New York City's population is 8 million people. So that would mean that the American population would have to be 24 million people. 100 million people city vibing strong. Yeah, 150 million people live in NYC at that point. We all know about the Jewish, Muslim, Native American, gay, trans person with a with an income over $1 million who lives in New York City and are bisexual and atheist. Are just, we all know about this, right? Those person are really the true coastal elites of this country. Yeah, the craziest thing is that, like, apparently 30% are Jewish, 27% are Muslim, and 33% are atheist. But where does that leave? We haven't even gotten to asking how many people are Christian, though. So at this moment in time, we're going to have to start to guess, like, where does that leave Christians? Like the majority group are Catholic. 41% are Catholic, apparently. 41% are Catholic. Wait, where's Christian? I want to see it. 70, and then I think 70% Christian, 30% Jewish, 30% Muslim, 30% atheist. It's all coming together, boys. It's all this. I'm not gonna lie to you. This math really ain't mathin'. This math does not add up. That's okay. We're at 201%. The magical country. The magical country. Listen, you don't get it. We do it big in America, all right? Even our percentages are big. 201% of the country agrees. 130% of the country is religious. We stay winning. We stay winning. I'm not a mathematician, but I think that's more than 100. Yeah, and America is more than 100% of a country, okay? We transcend countries into another realm. We are something bigger, greater, stronger, and apparently way more dumb. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, this type of ignorance is like funny, but it's also dangerous. Like, not knowing this type of stuff, not understanding the percentages of these types of, yeah, they also think that there's like 46% union membership. Apparently, they also think that 29% of the country is Asian. This is just, and 30% live in Texas, and 32% live in California. You're joking to me. Wait, is this real? Well, I know it's I know it's a real poll, but every time I look at the number, it gets more crazy. Like, your average American, like, if just asked, apparently in this poll, they believe that 41% of Americans are black. Well, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, look at people like Elizabeth Warren. I mean, she's Native American, if you think about it. Where, Sway? It would be kind of funny if black people made up 47% of America, but like, they definitely, absolutely do not. Apparently, Ben Shapiro's come out of trans. I did a bit about that a little while ago. And it gets more true every single day. It gets more true every single day. At least they're close on this one, but like, this is a weapon. Conservatives bet on and feed on weaponized ignorance of the American people and the failure of our education system. That's why Donald Trump said that he loves the poorly educated, and that's why conservatives believe the same exact thing, because those types of people are easy to manipulate. When you don't know these types of things, when you don't know about what's going on in the world, it's easy for people to supplant an ideology that's based on a lie to feed you that you imagine is something that you're actually fighting for, when it's in all actuality for a lot of those like rich media talking heads to give them money to watch their shows or pay for their campaign. The goal is to backslide the entire country into a sad, poorly educated, ignorant hole where the masses are easy. The crazy thing is that these people try to imagine that that liberals and progressives and communists want the entire populace to be poorly educated and poorly knowledgeable about history, when these people are literally destroying the fabric of our education system, what little we have left, and trying their hardest to make sure that no real benefit to our education system happens. That's why they are that's part of the reason why they're against things like free student lunches and paying teachers more. Like, these conservative states are literally doing anything that they can to pay teachers less, and then wondering why there's a teacher shortage. Right now in Florida, Ron DeSantis made it his goal to make himself an enemy of teachers. They're against things like teachers union. Like, what more peaceful union can you have than a teachers union, besides like a nursing union or something, right? The firefighters union. Like, they personally made themselves enemies of these people who help run the very fabric of our nation, which is the education system, and then wonder why they have like a nursing shortage or a teaching shortage, right? And then to cover his ass there, he put in a law that said that if you're a veteran, then you can walk into a classroom where there's no teacher and then just start teaching because you're a veteran, and hopefully you can teach them about great American causes and life, I guess, and not about like mathematics or how to calculate parabolas or some shit like that, because that's what the country really needs. It's insane. It's crazy bullshit. Any transgender veterans, they don't like that. I love me a parabola. Me too. All right. Well, anyways, back to this, and this is why she's like incredibly stupid. And the craziest thing about it is that I can excuse it from some rando normie who has a job and thinks about this like twice a year. It's her literal job to shit on trans people. She gets paid to shit on trans people and minorities. It's literally her job. I bet it's in her job description. Like, she's told have to shit on at least. They have like a quota of trans people to like shit on. Like, you gotta. It's like cops with like arresting people. You know, they have a monthly quota that they need to. It's like you working at a retail shop where they have a credit card. You have to get a certain amount of people to sign up that month, or else you're gonna get canned. Like, you have to shit on like a certain amount of minorities at the Daily Wire. At least they're gonna cut your pay like gumshoe. But like, I like this. It's your job, and you're that dumb.
Well, I told you, because of the proliferation. So you can't just go from having 0% to suddenly 25% of people.
But what I'm saying is that these people were around for thousands of years.
Well, what you're saying is that some Native American tribes had people that would be considered trans today, something that we can't fact check because they're dead, right?
We can't fact check. She would debate Native Americans about being trans. We can't fact check that they're dead. Bro, like, their cultures we were able to talk to, their descendants are here. Like, some of that culture is still around. You know that, right? We can't fact check that they're dead. Okay. Facts and logic right there. Totally epically owned. That dead Native American. They'll never recover from that. Literally. There are living two-spirit people. Yeah, they're living two-spirit people. They even made a game about that. It's called Beyond Two Souls. Like, come on, Candace, get a part of the program, weirdo.
Historical knowledge.
It's historical knowledge that there were trans Native Americans.
Yes.
Yes.
I really don't think that's historical knowledge. But here's what I'll answer. I don't think that there were trans Native Americans.
So if you could educate yourself a little more, you would know that.
Okay. I will educate myself.
the thing is, she's actually right. Ooh, she's actually right. That's the thing. She's like, well, I've never heard that. I don't think that there are. I just don't think that I don't think that there are. There aren't. There totally aren't. Fuck you. Okay. She's crumbling. Look at her gripping the mic. She's holding that mic for her entire life, man. It is recorded history. She just doesn't care. She doesn't care. She didn't see trans. She doesn't remember seeing any. For one, she did see trans people in her college. She just didn't clock them as trans because all these people think that they can like instantly see a trans person because they all think that a trans person, every trans woman is like John Cena in a wig, and that's what they think every trans person is like. So she did see trans people, and the trans people were there. She just didn't recognize them because they were just living their life, and she wasn't as insane of a cretin as she is right now. She's got that Matt Walsh grip on the podium. They all be gripping their podium and Mike's weird. It is so peculiar. So I'm glad she got cooked. She deserves it. I'm telling you, you can really own some of these guys if you go to some of their pages and everything. Sorry, if you go to some of their like talks, right? A lot of these, like I said, we went to the Matt Walsh one, cooked. Like nobody was there. Like nobody was there. It was actually really funny. There were like 30% of the seats were not filled. You're able to ask your question. You can kind of cook these guys. All you need to do is have the will to do it. Don't say she got cooked. She'll try to blame it on cannibals. You're right. I can't say that. She's like cooked, just like how them Native American aboriginals like to cook humans. Curious. We shouldn't be taking advice from. Did you see like the second she got called out on something, her number one response was quick racism. That was the first card that she drew on. That was at the top of the deck. Oh, be racist, quick. Quick. Like, girl, you have nothing else to go on. It's her trap card, apparently. Nothing else to pull on. Just quickly call them cannibals, call them be racist, call them cannibals. It's all we can do at this point. Yeah, she's top decking racism. Come here. Come here. Oh. Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.